In this challenge, contestants had 1 hour to make as much GP as they possibly could, starting with nothing, no GP, no items. The catch? Contestants had to choose between 10 different regions of RuneScape to lock themselves into for the challenge. Each run submitted could only make gold in one specific region of the game. They were given a ring of wealth to start so that they could still sell and buy things on the Grand Exchange during the run. I determined the regions by using the Trailblazer League regions and added Zaya to make 10. Each region had a 100 million GP prize for whoever made the most gold in 1 hour. If you're poor on RuneScape and want new and interesting ways to make GP, this video is for you. And of course, I buy bonds to award the winners of the challenge. And I couldn't do it without the sponsor of today's video. I'm happy to announce the sponsor of today's video, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN lets you change your location to one of their secure servers across the world. And that's super valuable for a couple reasons. Take Netflix for example. In the US, it's now up to $13.99 a month. If you switch your location to Argentina, it's only $3.66 a month. And ExpressVPN has dozens of different servers in different countries across the world. Once you've connected to one of those servers, your data is encrypted, protecting you from potential data thieves and hackers. Specifically with RuneScape players, it also helps prevent DDoS attacks, which are unfortunately common in the community. Well, find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/sirpugger or clicking the link in the description. Thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Let's start the challenge off in the Fremonic region. And we're starting off the Fremonic runs with Burrito. He's in the basalt mine under Weiss. He started off his run picking up an iron pickaxe and mining a full inventory of that basalt. I didn't know this was such a good moneymaker, but apparently basalt is actively traded for over 1,000 GP each. He sells that first inventory for 26k and buys a rune pickaxe and goes right back to the basalt mines in Weiss. It seems like that's what he's going to be doing his whole run. Yo, I'm Bernie starts off his run on Waterbirth Island collecting snapegrass there. There are a lot of snapegrass spawns. He's going to make a few runs back and forth between Waterbirth Island and the Grand Exchange selling those snapegrass until he has enough money to buy a budget PBM set. Basically just black d'hide, a rune crossbow, and some ruby bolts E. He's then going to head over to Vorkath, and on his first kill, he gets about 75k. Lil Ratbag starts off his run in Fremonic, where the Fremonic warriors and ice troll runs are fighting. Apparently the ice troll runs have a decent drop table, so to get some starting GP, all Lil Ratbags has to do is damage them a little bit and the Fremonic warriors can do the rest, so he gets multiple kill counts and their drops very quickly. He then goes to the Grand Exchange and sells everything for 7k. He's gonna buy a teleport to Waterbirth Island and then head over to the sewing shop. And it looks like he's just gonna spend that 6k on balls of wool at the sewing shop, banking them rapidly. We're 15 minutes in and he's spent all 6k. It looks like he's bought over 2,000 balls of wool, and on the Grand Exchange, he sells those for an astonishing 138k. He's gonna buy some insanely budget PVMing gear and head over to the Dagannoth Kings. Burrito Panka's time is almost out and he's been mining basalt for almost a full hour. There is an NPC that notes them upstairs. Time runs out and he has collected over 700 basalt. He's able to sell the basalt and the rune pickaxe for 901k. Yo, I'm Bernie is still doing Vorkath. He gets a dragon battle axe drop as well as 50 magic logs. He gets 6 or 7 other kills, and as you know, Vorkath consistently drops between 50 and 250k loot. He's gonna sell all of that loot at the Grand Exchange for a total of 807k. Lil Ratbags has just over half of his run left and he's attacking Dagannoth Rex. On his first kill, he gets a Berserker ring. That is some pretty insane RNG. He's going to continue killing Dagannoth Rex for the rest of his run. He ends up selling all of the loot, including the Berserker ring, for a little bit over 2 million GP. That also makes Lil Ratbags the winner of the Fremonic region. 747 is going to kick off the Kandarin region. If you're not familiar with the Kandarin region, it includes Camelot all the way down to the Feldup Hills. It has the Gnome Stronghold in there as well. 747 has found a black scimitar spawn. It looks like on the 2nd floor of our Dung Castle. He's going to collect a full inventory of those black scimitars and sell them on the Grand Exchange. He's then gonna head over to Apatoll and start buying monkey nuts from a shop there. And I can tell you, he buys monkey nuts the entire run. Toniti starts off his run picking up the Ardung cloak and then teleporting over to the monastery and pickpocketing the guns for some triangle sandwiches. He collects a few inventories of those and goes to the Grand Exchange. Apparently they're over 300 GP each. He gets 27k in starting GP and teleports over to Fishing Trawler. He's gonna buy raw rabbit rabbit meat there from the merchants, and then cook them on the nearby fires at bank and repeat. Uji's also starting off his run at the Black Scimitar spawn. He's gonna spend the first 2 minutes of his run collecting an inventory of black scimitars and then go to the Grand Exchange to sell some of them, buy some box traps, and go hunt red chinchampas in the Feldup Hills. After obtaining about 90, he heads back to the Grand Exchange, sells them, and buys budget PVM gear. He's headed to the Demonic Gorillas. Most of you probably already know, they have a very good drop table. With 40 seconds left, 747 is finally done buying monkey nuts. It looks like he's already sold some of the monkey nuts, but he has over 4,600 of them, and apparently they're 170 GP each. 747 ends with 957k. Toniti has been buying and cooking rabbit meat his whole run. When he goes to the Grand Exchange to sell them, we get a good idea why. The raw rabbits go for 201 GP each. The cooked rabbits sell for between 750 and 1,000 GP each. He's not able to sell all of the rabbits at that price, and he ends with 516 GP. With 32 minutes left, Uji kills a demonic gorilla and gets a Zenite shard, which is 7.35 million GP. He sells it right away on the Grand Exchange, but doesn't upgrade his gear at all and just heads back to the demonic gorillas. After selling all of the loot, Uji ends with 7.6 million GP. That means Uji is the winner of the Kandarin region. Unstoppableness starts off his Wildy run by grabbing a Wilderness Sword 4. He's gonna run all the way into Deep Wildy and collect a full inventory of steel plate bodies, and then head back to the Grand Exchange to sell them. Just like most people in this challenge, he buys some suspect PVM gear and goes to kill the crazy archaeologist. With 38 minutes left, he actually gets an Odium Shard 2. He sells that on the Grand Exchange for 1.58 million GP. Rip Grinding starts off his run thieving from the Rogue's chest. He only thieves 2 chests, but gets 5 emeralds and 1,000 GP, heads to the Grand Exchange buying box traps, and then to the Black Chinchampas. He's gonna sell all the Black Chinchampas for 140k, and he heads over to the Crazy Archaeologist. With 33 minutes left, he gets a cheeky fedora drop and puts it on. Relic starts off his Wildy run in the graveyard in the wilderness, collecting bones and a couple big bones from spawns there. He's gonna quickly sell those at the Grand Exchange, buy some box traps, and hunt some Black Chinchampas. He sells those for a quick 100k, buys a trident, and goes to the Crazy Archaeologist. It seems like these contestants all have very similar strategies. Get a little bit of GP for gear and then go to the Crazy Archaeologist. Unstoppableness used his money from the good RNG to buy a better magic set, full mystics, and killed the Crazy Archaeologist for the rest of his run, getting no other notable drops. He ends with 1.53 million GP. Rip Grinding has been grinding out the Crazy Archaeologist for almost 40 minutes. He finally hits that rare drop table and gets a Malediction Shard 2. He's gonna put that into the Grand Exchange and then finish up his run by doing some tick manipulation at the Black Chinchampas. He's unable to sell that shard for as much as the GE value and ends with 1.37 million GP. Relic finally gets some RNG and gets an Odium Shard 2 drop from the Crazy Archaeologist. He's gonna sell that for 1.53 mil, sell the rest of his loot, and then gear up and go kill Venenatus. He doesn't get any insane luck, just hitting the common drop table a few times before his run ends. Relic ends his Wildy run with 1.78 million GP. That means Relic is the winner of the Wilderness region. Starting off the desert region with Lil Ratbags. He's starting his run doing some pyramid plunder, and a minute into the run he gets a Pharaoh Scepter. This is a pretty cheeky strategy to get a lot of GP to start off his run. He goes to the Grand Exchange, sells the Pharaoh Scepter, buys a D'hide set, a whip, a dragon dagger, and some supplies. He's gonna head to the Desert Slayer dungeon and start killing Dust Devils. Not the greatest moneymaker when I think about a GP speedrun, but that's also what I like about this region lock challenge. You've gotta make do with what you have in your region. Rip Grinding is starting in the Sorceress's Garden. He does a lap getting 2 grimy herbs, one is a Raynar weed. Apparently that's what he's looking for. He heads to the Shantae Pass to pick up his achievement diary reward, an amulet that gives teleports around the desert. He's gonna sell the Raynar weed on the Grand Exchange and then use the amulet to teleport to Narda. There's an NPC in Narda that sells chalk ice for 30 GP each. On the Grand Exchange they sell for 250 GP each. Rip Grinding's basically gonna buy inventories of that chalk ice, bank, and then use the amulet to teleport back right to the NPC. Ultimate Ironman Yerstola is also going to start the run off in Pyramid Plunder. This time the Pharaoh Scepter drop comes with 46 minutes left. Yerstola is going to run over to the Agility Pyramid and just start doing laps of that. so we'll see if Dust Devils or the Agility Pyramid is better money. Lil Ratbags has been killing Dust Devils and selling their loot throughout the last 50 minutes. And as time almost runs out, he's gonna go back to the Grand Exchange to sell all of the loot. He's made a total of 2.96 million GP. Rip Grinding's run has ended and he's selling up the last of the chalk ices. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it, but he's made over 1 million GP just from buying chalk ices. Y'shtola has been running the Agility Pyramid for most of the run after getting that Pharaoh Scepter drop, and it looks like they've accumulated about 150k in cash. Y'shtola price checks the loot for 2.8 million GP. That means Lil Ratbags is the winner of the desert region. Only 2 people submitted a run for Mauritania. Looney007 starts off his run killing snails in the Mauritania swamp. He collects whatever they drop, puts in an offer at the Grand Exchange selling some of them, and buys a black salamander and 4 house teleports. With literally nothing other than a black salamander, he proceeds to do barrows. He barely survives his first run and is rewarded with one of the worst barrows chests ever. He gets another chest, this time worth 50k. Ultimate Iron Man Y'shtola is the only other contestant in Mauritania. He starts off his run by picking up some Mauritania legs, and then heads into the temple trekking minigame. The strategy is very simple. Just do temple trekking until the time runs out. With less than 30 minutes left, Looney007 actually gets a Barrows item, although it's one of the absolutely worst items, an Aram Staff. The chest is only worth 130k. He's gonna go to the Grand Exchange and upgrade his gear a little bit, buying a Trident, and do a few more runs without getting lucky at all to finish with 360k. The time has almost run out on Ultimate Iron Man Y'shtola, and he's using all of his rewards on bowstrings. He ends with about 3,500 bowstrings, which is worth 496,000 GP, making Ultimate Iron Man Y'shtola the winner of Mauritania. Lil Ratbags won multiple challenges, but decided to only accept 100 million GP, so in those extra regions he won, I awarded the next best entry that didn't win a different region. The next 5 regions will be uploaded in the next 2 days, thanks to the players who donated for this video. Red and White, Zoxo, Cheddar VR, Stack G, Monarchy, and Ultimate Iron Man Y'shtola. Full high scores in the announcement of the next challenge will come at the end of the sequel to this video.